Who discovered the structure of DNA? There are three main scientists that are usually credited with the discovery of DNA structure: Rosalind Franklin, Francis Crick, and James Watson. So here's some background information on Rosalind Franklin. She was born on July 25th in 1920 in London, England. Her family is very wealthy, so they sent her to a private school in London called St. Paul's Girls' School. She was very intelligent as a child, and she knew that she wanted to be a scientist ever since she was 15. St. Paul's was actually one of the few schools at the time that taught science to girls. When she was 18, she enrolled in Cambridge to study chemistry, and she got her PhD in physical chemistry and became a chemist and X-ray crystallographer. She died of cancer on April 16, 1958, in London. Her cancer is most likely caused by her exposure to radiation while she was doing her X-ray crystallography. After she got her PhD in 1945, she began conducting research at King's College. She took an X-ray diffraction image of a DNA molecule called Photo 51, and you can see it in the bottom right-hand corner. And this photo clearly shows that DNA has a double helix structure. She wrote several observations about DNA structure in her notes as well. She never received credit for her discoveries because she died of cancer in 1958. So the next scientist is James Watson. He was born on April 6, 1928 in Chicago, Illinois. He enrolled in the University of Chicago when he was 15, and he got his PhD in zoology in 1950. He then became interested in chemistry and biology and began to conduct research on the structure of DNA with his partner Francis Crick. Watson is still alive today, and he's 90 years old. So here's some background information on the next scientist. Francis Crick was born in Northampton, England in 1916. He graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree from University College London in 1937. He was involved in some military research after he graduated, but he started to study biology soon after that. He went to Cambridge to conduct some research where he met James Watson. They began studying the structure of DNA together. He later got his PhD from University of Cambridge in 1954. He died when he was 88 in 2004 in San Diego, California. So, Watson and Crick conducted experiments at King's College in order to figure out what the structure of DNA was. They used Rosalind Franklin's Photo 51 to construct a model of DNA. They used the photograph and her notes without her knowledge. They also didn't acknowledge her work when they published their model. They got a Nobel Peace Prize in 1962 along with Maurice Wilkins for their research. So, who should really be credited with discovering DNA structure? Overall, I think that Rosalind Franklin should be credited with the discovery of DNA's double helix structure. She wrote these observations 16 months before Watson and Crick published their findings. Big helix in several chains, phosphates on the outside, phosphate-phosphate, interhelical bonds disrupted by water. Although Francis and Crick discovered other details of the structure of DNA, their research would have been impossible without the use of Franklin's photo, and they obtained that without her permission. The entire structure of DNA also has many other components, and its discovery can't really be attributed to only one person. So here are some other scientists I think should be acknowledged. Raymond Gosling was a PhD student under Franklin's supervision, and he helped to make Photo 51 while they were at King's College. And then Maurice Wilkins assisted Watson and Crick in their research in constructing the DNA model. And he contributed to their discoveries, and he won a joint Nobel Prize with them in 1962. And then Michael Creeth, who discovered the hydrogen bonds between DNA's nitrogenous bases, and Erwin Chargaff, who discovered base pairing rules.